You good over there? You looking good, Nessly?
I'm looking beautiful.
Yeah.
Like $1 million.
All right.
I got a flex habit, I'm a sex addict. I don't text her back, she said I'm moving backwards. Bitch, I'm next to has it. Bitch, I'm next to has it. Bitch, I'm next to has it. Yeah. Bitch, I'm next to has it. I got a flex habit.
Hey guys, RG. We're in Atlanta once again. No Days Off Studio. I'm with my man Nessly. How's it going, man?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me.
For the few people that might not know you yet overseas, can you introduce yourself?
This is Nessly. I'm emerging out of Atlanta, East Side, Decatur, Stone Mountain. Been doing this music shit 10 years. It's been going good for the past, 2, 3. It's doing really good.
How did it all started for you?
The first time I ever remember doing anything music related in general was probably 2006, 2007. I was listening to a lot of Lil Wayne, but at the same time I was listening to Gorillaz at the same pace. The way music affected me was very unique. I didn't come from a background where I listened to rap as my main genre. And then when it finally piqued my interest to really become an artist, it was around the time you had songs like Crank That Soda Boy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which was really a funny time for music in general. It just showed me that anybody could do it. I was watching Soulja Boy, for example, on MySpace, and I was like, wow, I watched him come from nothing to being a superstar. It became more of a thing of passion for me. But in the beginning, it was just, having fun.
You already mentioned a few of your influences, Lil Wayne and Gorillaz. I mean, I want to talk about Gorillaz. I know it would be your dream collab, I would say.
Yeah.
And I feel like it stands a little bit from maybe other rappers' influences. So can you talk a little bit about that?
In a lot of my earlier work, one thing I used to do that stemmed from my influence from Gorillaz is I would specifically add a telephone effect over my main vocal, which is something Damon Albarn, the lead for Gorillaz. I mean, it's really only him, but he does that with his voice. I don't know, I try to tap into some sort of essence that I grabbed from their music in my own, whether it's the eerie production, whether it's mixing maybe an acoustic snare with an 808, because he has a lot of hip-hop production. I would love to collab with him.
You actually have a tattoo also. I want to see that on camera.
So I have one right here of 2D. It portrays this shy, really nice person, but when he's on stage, he's that superstar, and I feel like there's parts of me as a person that I don't show everybody, but the best me comes out on stage. And I also have another one of 2D as well.
You are one of those artists that pay as much attention to the music as the visuals.
Absolutely.
That come with it, the cover art. Why is that important for you?
The cover art is sometimes more important than the music, I feel like. Because sometimes people will give you a chance just off of that picture alone. So if you get their interest off of a picture alone, they'll give you a good listen for 1 to 3 songs. And then if you got them after those 3 songs, you might have just scored yourself a fan. And some people, they'll just put a picture of their face. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But with me, I provide juxtaposition in all of my art. So it gives you the balance. The rose crown brings out the beauty. And finesse is a word that once placed in the area that I use it in usually is a bad thing. So I just wanted to let people know, hey, there's 2 sides to the coin. It might be my only chance with certain people. I'm still a newer artist growing, so I want to give them what I feel like is myself, a deep look into my mind, because you may never have that shot again.
The Wildflower, your latest effort. Can you run us through a little bit about how you came about with this project and the concept behind it?
Originally, Wildflower was entitled There's a Fire in the Prairie Field. Again, beauty, destruction, juxtaposition. It eventually became Wildfire because I wanted to be shorter. I felt like a lot of my music sounds like that. I might use heavy auto-tune over an orchestra, which is usually, it doesn't match, but I make it work. It's just a mesh. And Wildflower came about because I started accidentally calling it Wildflower. It stuck to who I was, who I am, and who I've presented myself as. I have a dead rose on this hand, and I have a live rose on this hand, signifying change, signifying growth. And I felt like I am a wildflower. I'm embodying another flower. I embodied the rose on my last 2 projects. And I felt like to embody a wildflower is just showing growth, rapid growth. Even though it's a very cult fan base, it comes at a rate that I still have a hard time understanding. I'll meet someone and be surprised that they want a picture. Even when I went to Japan, I had people stop me in Japan. I'm like, This is crazy.
You mentioned Atlanta, you mentioned you being still fairly young in the game, but you've worked with a lot of people already. Can you tell us more about your relationship to Yachty?
Yachty I've known for maybe like 4 or 5 years. We just used to both like sell and trade sneakers on a Facebook group, and we didn't know each other very well even back then. We just were two like Instagram kids, you know. We always had the shoes first. I remember actually we got on a FaceTime call about some like girl. It was funny, like some girl that we both knew. And then we saw each other again at this like party. I had this respect for him and his friend group. So I was like, if you ever want, you should come back to my house. I still live with my mom. You come out of my house and you should record. Like, I'm down to help. And he only had like one song literally on SoundCloud, not even two. One song. And I was just going off of the energy because we were both, you know, there was nothing to gain, nothing to lose. You know, we were just two kids that respected one another. We would just sleep on the couch, wake up, make music, go get food, make music.
And so you also have a song with Ski Mask, who has it on your project. You recently performed at one of his concerts, I believe.
Ski is a great dude. I just like how he thinks creatively, and you know, he's just a very nice person to be around. He has good energy. I met Ski at Fool's Gold Day Off in New York. A-Track invited me out, and when I was performing Giddy Up, Ski Mask came to the side stage and was like, I had to come out. I heard Giddy Up coming on. It was really humble of him and nice. Every time we're in the same city, we always like hang out. And he brought me out to his show. The last one, it was dope.
The last one I want to mention for now is Young Bands.
The first time I met Bands, I was probably like 17 or 16. Bands was a bad kid. Man, he probably had to be no older than like 14. I met him off of a Facebook group. He used to always show me love, like you know, whether it was the fashion or the music. Again, it's just like how I met Yachty. So I met up with Bands, and he wanted a pair of sneakers from me. And he traded me a Mac, and I took it home. And when I put it up, I was like, man, this shit was stolen. What the fuck? And now I still see Bands like more than people would think.
The one thing also that people might not know is that a lot of your tracks on your projects are produced by TM88.
TM, very interesting story. He just DM'd me and said, send email. And that was enough to get started. So he sent me packs and packs of beats, and then we made Falling Down. Then we had a show in New York where he was the DJ and I was the artist for it. He met me at the studio. I played him what I had already had of Wildflower. He wasn't actually a part of Wildflower in the beginning. And the more we talked, he was like, hey, why don't we just actually like, you know, why don't I help you with this? Why don't I executive produce on it? And like, you know, we do 5 or 6 records, whatever. And for like 2-3 weeks straight, like every day, we would just go to the studio.
When we hear about Nessly, a lot of time what we hear is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. How do you personally still work on getting your own sound, and do you feel like sometimes your sound might have influenced other artists?
I feel that way a lot. It does make it hard though, as far as having your own sound, but one of the good things about it for me is since I've been doing music, you know, 10 plus years, I've gone through 10 or so sounds to even get to the sound that I've created that people know me for and love me for. I feel whatever about it. It happens. I feel like I'm doing something right if they want to take it.
So I know Wildflower came out not that long ago, but you're always putting new music out. What you working on right now?
The music is all over the place right now. I have a folder with like 300 songs. I have no clue what 15 or so we're gonna boil it down to. My biggest thing that I feel like affects my growth is I have such a great cult fan base, but they're always like, where the fuck is the new music? You know, I don't want to keep them waiting too long. So it's coming.
Need to hold back, I need to hold back. I can't hold back, I need to hold back. I can't hold back, I need to hold back. I can't hold back, I need to hold back. I can't hold back, I need to hold back. I can't hold back, I need